understand what you're saying. No.
There it is.
Let's hear it.
Well, let's hear it.
Talk to us. Uh-oh.
Beadle and Decker, taking on sports talk like no one else. Michelle Beadle,
I'm just helping. I'm helping America one by one.
Cody Decker.
I 100% believe in revenge. Revenge is a great thing.
Back to the sports.
Back and ready for more.
Every time I tune them out, they pull me back in.
It's Beadle and Decker. Here's Michelle and Cody.
Hello, everyone. It is a beautiful, and I do mean this from the very, very, very bottom of my heart, a beautiful Thursday afternoon here in beautiful Southern California, Santa Monica. And yes, no Michelle Beadle today. It is a Thursday, which means it's a very, very important day. Maybe the most important day of your life, my life, your friends' lives, your parents' lives, your children's lives. And that, of course, is because our guy, Keith Irirzarry, is back on the show. It is a Keith Irirzarry Thursday. And look at those damn arms, man. Do it. Do it, as the shirt says, my guy.
And then don't quit.
Yep. Love it.
And also don't quit.
You're just a jacked inspiration to us all. A bald jack inspiration. That's why you're such a bald jacked inspiration to myself. You know, one day I want to be as jacked and cool as Keith Irirzarry.
Wow, this was the greatest intro of all time. I'm good. All right, so good show, and I'll see you next week.
It was a hell of an hour, everyone. Beat it. All right, here's the deal,
awesome.
Keith. Let's see. By the way, what's been new? What's been the new callings of games? NHL. Where are you? What channel are you not on? Is my question.
Well, NHL slows down for me because I'm not covering the playoffs right now. So I'm still at NHL Network, but game-wise, done with that. So that'll be back next October or whatever. MLB Network starts picking up for me right now. I got a bunch of strike zone shifts coming up on MLB Network. Blah 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 blah. Got a couple of ESPN shifts coming up. Yeah, a lot of stuff. By the way, you were bragging about the weather. I'll just say it's 70 degrees in New York right now. It is sunny. It's beautiful. But that'll go away because it's supposed to be like 55 and raining this weekend. So yeah.
By the way, Jeets has a question right off the bat, and I will tell you, Jeets, we're going to be getting into the draft during segment 2 of the show, so don't you worry. We will be getting that in the B block today, and yes, we will answer this very, very important question. So, Keith, please earmark this question. Who's going to have the worst draft tonight? That is actually might be the question of the day when it is all said and done, when we're done talking about the show.
I'm not a negative person, all right? I'm going to interrupt you. I'm not a negative person, so I would prefer to talk about who's going to have a good draft as opposed to the bad draft. With that being said, I mean, I could probably do it for you, but more likely I'd rather you talk about who's going to, stink it up, and I'll say who's great.
The Browns.
Probably.
That was negative, Keith. That was a very negative thing for you to say out loud just now.
Well, probably also means that maybe not, or maybe so.
By the way, so tired. I'm not going to lie to you. I actually agree with that. We're going to talk about it later.
Do you want to just do draft stuff right now? Do you want to switch it?
You know what? It's weird considering we're in playoff basketball, but you know what? Everyone's asking about it in the chat. Let's switch it up. B block is now the A block.
Yeah,
ladies and gentlemen, we have an NFL draft tonight. Let's talk about it. Raiders with the first overall pick. I don't think they can mess that up. I think it's pretty clear they're going to be going with Mendoza. I think they got the quarterback in place in Kirk Cousins that you and I, buddy, they all called me a madman. They all said, no way is it happening. No. It seemed like the most ungodly perfect fit in the world to get Kirk Cousins, especially if you're going to draft a kid like Carlos Mendoza, who just seems like a new weird Kirk cousin.
Fernando Mendoza,
sorry. I have other issues in my head right now with some managers who might not be keeping their jobs.
Wow. Okay. I'm gonna save you there. So Mendoza going number 1. We know that's gonna happen. I want to read you something about number 2. Okay, before we actually get to who the pick's gonna be. So the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The last 6 times that a player was drafted after the Raiders had a first-round pick, all right? So whoever gets drafted immediately following Fernando Mendoza is basically going to be a Hall of Famer. So when the Raiders picked Napoleon Harris with the number 2 overall pick, Ed Reed was the next pick. When the Raiders went Robert Gallery, Larry Fitzgerald was the next pick. Fabian Washington, Then it was Aaron Rodgers. Jamarcus Russell. Oh, Calvin Johnson.
Oh!
They traded away their pick in 2010, which then ended up being the next pick after that would have been Rob Gronkowski. So Gronk will be in the Hall of Fame. And then Jihad Ward in 2016, it was Derrick Henry next. So basically what I'm telling you is you can stamp it. Whoever the Jets draft number 2. Now, it doesn't mean he'll be a Hall of Famer with the Jets, but whoever gets drafted number 2 is
the great equalizer has just happened. The official kill switch has been engaged.
Yep.
Cue the Jets with the next pick. Come on. It's the Jets.
Right. Again, that player is going to be a Hall of Famer. Doesn't mean he has to be a Hall of Famer with the Jets.
All right, that is fair. That is fair. Sam
Yeah,
Darnold.
I did that there?
Sam Darnold 2.0 is what you were suggesting.
I'm just saying there's been a bunch of players that have played for the Jets, and then when they left, have gone on to have really good careers.
Okay.
There are on one hand, it's clearly Arvell Reese because the Jets canceled a meeting with David Bailey, even though they claim it's just because they know what it is. I think that was sort of a tipping of their hand. But then you kind of go into their head coach and you start thinking about this guy needs to win games this year, because if suddenly they're 3-7 or 2-8 or something like that, Glenn might get fired, right? So he needs to win games. Clearly, David Bailey is more ready to play in the NFL this minute than Arvell Reese, but the ceiling is higher for Reese. If I were running the New York Jets, and I'm not, I would take Arvell Reese. I think that I want to swing for the fences. I want to get a guy that potentially, down the road might be, all pro, not just Pro Bowl starter type of guy. And I think Arvell Reese could be a Pro Bowler down the road. But the problem with Arvell Reese too is technically doesn't have a position. He's like a hybrid linebacker? Is he going to have his hand down on the ground? Where is he on your field? I'm going to swing for the fences knowing that I have a number 16 pick also. I think it's Arvell Reese. From a betting standpoint, Bailey, you get some plus money on it. So if you want to throw a shekel or two on something, Bailey would be the better play. From a betting standpoint, it's minus money on Reese. I would pick Reese.
Here's my thing. I actually do appreciate you bringing up the betting standpoint, because at least it makes it a little more interesting. Because here's the thing. I never find the NFL draft interesting. I'll go a step further. I don't find usually any particular draft all that interesting, because we don't know what we're really going to get. It's just been so much TV time just dedicated to over the last couple of months, that to the point where I've been changing the channel anytime it even comes up at this point. I understand this is a team's future, and it does lead to a lot of different talking points on what a team is, direction they're going, or it just leads to other narratives. But that's my problem. The draft has just become a narrative machine, as opposed to the draft actually being an impact thing. Not to mention, on top of that, the amount of glitz and glamour they have tried to bestow upon it, I almost feel like it's given a negative feeling towards it. These last couple of years have gotten so big that it's too big to fail. They're turning the NFL draft into WrestleMania, which ESPN, of course.
All right, I have so much to disagree with you there. Okay. So first and foremost, you played your sport at the highest level, correct? For anybody who doesn't know? Right.
Yes.
You know what it is to be in a situation where you're thinking about getting drafted, right? So can we just start from the human side of this?
But we don't show the human side of it.
I mean, we do. What do you mean? The players still talk, they get drafted, they shake Goodell's hand, they bro hug him, whatever it is. They speak to a reporter, then they go sit down with Greeny and whomever else. Then they go to NFL Network and talk to people over there. Someone like Fernando Mendoza has decided instead of being there, he wants to be at home with his family. He'll do some sort of Zoomish type of interview, I'm sure, as well. So I think the pageantry of it there, that's not lost on me. And I didn't play the sport on any sport on the highest level. So from a human standpoint, also being the fact that you're a talk show radio host, right?
Yeah.
You've been in movies and TV shows, and you've done, singing and Broadway-ish type of stuff, right? Like you've done all of this type of stuff. I would imagine that someone like Cody Decker would be all about that pageantry. So that surprises me a little bit. You can react to that, and I'm going to tell you the other things I don't like about what you said.
No, it's just I feel like the pageantry. Hold on, let's start with this. I feel like the pageantry that's put in front of us is very, 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 very manufactured. It doesn't feel real, and the stories themselves get watered down because it feels like everybody's in the. Honestly, it seems like everybody's been injected into the Matrix, and it's just almost awkward to watch. It's just not for me. It's almost like they're trying to make it overly sentimental when it already is sentimental. You don't need to force that upon us now because you're now overdoing it. It kind of takes me out of it. And I never really liked the human stories that they try to portray because I don't really think they usually get into the details that they could. I don't think they make the players seem all that human. I think they do a good job of doing the exact opposite, making the players seem superhuman, which is not a bad thing either. We often try to look at our players like they're superhuman on the field.
So on that side, I won't fully disagree with you on that one. I think that was a good comeback on that one. I liked your comeback there. I think that we sometimes, I'm trying to figure out how to word this correctly. Sometimes the questions need to be better to the athletes. Like rather than just, and a lot of times it's, all right, and now I'm, joined down here in our draft pit with Cody Decker. Cody Decker just got drafted number, 8 by the New Orleans Saints. How does it feel, Cody? Like, we know how it feels, right? Like, it feels great. It's a lifelong dream. I would rather a question that actually matters, right? So down here with, Cody Decker and Cody, you've routinely, I'm going to make this story up, okay? Cody Decker, you've routinely talked about how, you and your father would always be out on the football field, before school. And he's the reason why you have the best hands in the business. Like, what would you like to say to your dad right now? Like that would be
like,
a cool
that's
question.
A phenomenal question, Keith Irirzarry. I would like to hear that because what you're going to get is you'll elicit a real response, an emotion even.
Maybe you cry, right?
Maybe.
Like maybe your voice cracks and you're like, you don't even understand. My dad was working 3 jobs just to be able to, and he went without sleep just to be able to help me reach my goals. That would be a great answer.
Completely. That would be a phenomenal answer. I'd love to see something like that. So,
but as how does it feel? It feels great.
What is going through your head right now?
Yeah.
Like it's always just the same thing. Yeah. I got drafted first overall. I'm a multimillionaire. It's incredible.
Okay. All right. Now the other parts that you were talking about. So I think that the other thing that the networks sometimes do wrong with this, but I get why it's like this. It's because of how much time is between the picks. I wish there was a way to speed it up. Right. This doesn't have and I know they already tried by making, it's just the first round, the first night, and then the second and the third, and then the weekend, you'll get the later round. So at least they split it up that way. But tonight, in theory, shouldn't have to take 3.5 hours. You should be able to get this done in 2 hours. But the problem is that you obviously need to give these teams time to make the pick. So there's not really much of a fix there. That's an issue. But I'll tell you, as a guy who's in New York and the Knicks are playing tonight, and I love NHL playoffs as well.
Yes,
I gotta figure out how to put 3 screens on tonight. I am gonna watch the NFL draft. I will have at least one hockey game on. I will have the Knicks on, and then on my phone, I'll be paying attention to the other games that are going on as well.
I mean, you got a hell of a busy night ahead of you. And listen, I'm going to be pretty locked into basketball like I have been these last couple of nights. And yes, let's go over and get back to basketball for a moment, if that's okay. Just because I don't know if you heard, the playoffs are going on. By the way, what's your take on, you saw the Wemby fall the other night, right?
Yeah, but he's going to travel to Portland. That's a good sign. That means that he probably at least passed some of the first tests for the concussion. My guess is he won't play in game number 3. But it's a good sign that he was able to travel, right? Because that's a flight from San Antonio to Portland. And if your concussion is that bad, they won't even let you fly. So the fact that he was able to fly leads me to believe I think he'll play game 4, unless they win game 3 and they rest him for game 4 too, which sounds weird to rest a player during the postseason, but they've got bigger fish to fry. And if they can win game 3 without him, they might think that they can win game 4 without him as well.
Yeah. Also, on top of that, I mean, just because it was a couple days ago, I haven't had the chance to hear from you on it. LeBron, how about LeBron? Just the fount of
He's
youth.
awesome.
I might be finally coming around to that.
I know.
If we're finally going to be having that discussion again, the old, boring, tired discussion, dude, so far, like it needs to keep going, but it's hard to ignore. He's 41 years old. He's putting up how many points did he have in the last game? 28?
28. Yeah.
28. And Marcus Smart also with like a 25-point game. Kennard with like 21 point. Man, it's given me some hope. I mean, also the Rockets are a little bit broken, and but if they can get Luka and Austin back in for the next series, man, oh man.
Yeah, I saw a bit of your on the regulars. I saw you guys talking about this, and I think that. So one of the conversations I'd like to have about LeBron James is not the GOAT thing, because sure, like we could say every single week we could do the conversation about the GOAT, blah 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 blah, but it's almost like having a political conversation where if it's a Republican and a Democrat, it's like if person A is a Republican and person B is a Democrat, and they sit down and talk to each other, I guarantee you that person A is not going to walk away and go, you know what? I think you're right, and I should switch and now become a Democrat. Like that's not,
we're not made that way.
It doesn't happen, right? So it's kind of like if you're a Jordan person and you're a LeBron person, you're going to argue and nothing's going to come. I think the better conversation about LeBron James is this is the greatest thing we've ever seen from an old athlete. Now, Tom Brady would probably like to have a conversation with you.
Yes, he would.
Or like Ronaldo and Messi might like to have a conversation with you. Maybe even Alex Ovechkin would like to have a conversation with you. But the fact that LeBron James, at 41 years old, led the NBA in fast break dunks. He's still throwing windmill dunks down. He's still arguably the fastest player on the court sometimes. And the fact that, Nick Wright actually had a great comment, and I'll give him the credit for this one.
Let's hear it.
It was on Fox Sports. He said that LeBron James is now Chris Paul. And what he meant by that was he's the best version of what Chris Paul was, and Chris Paul is going to be a Hall of Famer, except that LeBron James is 6'8". LeBron James is on the floor, and he's the best point guard on the floor. He's the best passer. We've seen that. He can shoot a little bit. He's playing enough defense to not make him an issue on the court. And oh, by the way, he's 6'8". So that's a difference between Chris Paul, who's 6 foot and 6'8". Like, it's ridiculous what he is able to do. And I really would like people to stop hating on and finding reasons to not love it.
That's always the
Enjoy the greatness. Enjoy it.
That's why I hate the argument. When the old classic LeBron versus Jordan. The reason why I hate the argument is because for some reason the argument gets vicious and you have to tear one down. And the one that's always getting torn down is LeBron. And why are we doing that? LeBron's unbelievable. And it's to the point where, it's the thing. I mentioned it on the regulars, and I mentioned it to Tanya, and I'll say it here again. There's a nostalgia factor that when we move on from something, it gets even bigger as time goes forward. It was absolutely huge. Make no mistake. Jordan is still arguably the greatest of all time, top two, whatever your side is, it doesn't matter. But in 15, 20 years, we're going to start talking about LeBron, us same people, to the next generation of kids. Like, kids, you think SGA is doing great at 34 years old? Well, you don't know what LeBron did at 41. He's the greatest ever.
And I just also think that every generation is going to have their hero, right? I don't know. Would you consider Jordan a hero of our generation? Do you think that?
Because
Kobe
he was starring
too?
in movies. He was in every commercial humanly possible. Jordan was the most famous man in America for a solid 7 years.
Right. And he was more famous than any other athlete in another sport too. If you think about
he was the guy.
The QBs in the NFL at the time, you're on the tail
none
end.
of them came close.
No, Joe Montana and stuff like that. None of them were him. Hockey just doesn't rate, unfortunately. Otherwise, Wayne Gretzky could have been, because he's the best at his said sport. And
if Bo Jackson never got hurt and continued, he would have been.
I like that one. Yeah, that's a good one too. And even golf, you know what? Tiger would be the person that you could put on.
I would say he's the closest.
Yeah.
But still, it's even in the chat right here. Be Like Mike was just a part of American lexicon back then.
Right. I would imagine that any human being, man or woman, that is, you're what, 36?
I'm 39.
39. All right. So,
36. Thank you.
you're closer to my age than I thought. Wow. All right. You are
Wow,
old.
you are.
Yeah. See how I turned that around? I gave you a compliment accidentally and then turned it around. Wow. Yeah.
You came to me sideways there. Sir.
Yeah.
That you are capable of.
Good. Remember that. Just keep that in your back pocket. So, I would imagine that anyone that is at least in their 30s, and I'll go even into maybe their 50s, could sing the Be Like Mike song. Be like Mike, if I could be like, I want to be like anyone could just sing that song. You think about like his commercials with Spike Lee, those Mars, those were awesome. And then the original Space Jam was just something so different. And I don't know if a professional athlete had ever done something to that scale of a movie. Like there have been professional athletes in movies,
but not like that.
Not like that.
No, it's a bad movie. I loved it as a little kid. It was like, keep in mind, I was what? I was like 9 when that movie came out, something like that. Movie came out like 95, 96. Like I loved that movie as a little kid. I was like kid. 2. We all saw it like 15 times as little kids. Like it was a cultural phenomenon. That's why everyone hated Space Jam 2, because us loud, annoying millennials were like, this isn't our Space Jam. Of which I'm like, guys, really?
Our Space Jam wasn't that great either.
Do you remember what our Space Jam was?
Yeah. I will tell you, and I can't remember if I've told you this story. Like, I actually enjoyed the second Space Jam, but it was different. It was nostalgia. At the time, my mother-in-law was ill and pretty close to passing away, and it was probably the last movie that I watched with her, my wife, and my boys. So it'll always have a special place for me. Like we watched together and she was still able to like stay awake and watch it and remember it. And we all were kind of smiling. So that was, had a little nostalgia for me. But yes, Space Jam 1 was better than Space Jam 2. I get.
Well, also not without controversy. We did have some basketball last night and the Suns left not happy. Could I play a little clip of Mr. Booker post game?
But even the broadcast was confused by your tech. What was the explanation that you got?
I still haven't got one. It's definitely something that has to be looked into. I heard Caruso tell him to call the tech, and he ended up doing it. So that's one ref. In my 11 years, I haven't called a ref out by name, but James was terrible tonight, through and through. It's bad for the sport, bad for the integrity of the sport. People are going to start viewing this as a WWE, if they're not held responsible.
Similar thing.
Spit the hot fire. Yeah, that's going to be a rather hefty check that Devin Booker is going to have to write. But he did it on purpose. He knew what he was doing. Saying the referee's name, which is already like a no-no. You're never supposed to do that. And then to use the word integrity. That was the word, because you've had a player just 2 years ago get, point shaving stuff. And then you have, a coach and a former player dealing with stuff, gambling and off the court. Like, to bring that word integrity in there, Devin Booker knew what he was doing. And he clearly has a beef with this referee.
That was, I can't even remember a time I've seen somebody go kind of, by the way, that calmly and collectively hard in the paint. That hits way harder than him dropping F-bombs and everything. That was like slow, cold, and calculated. He wanted every syllable of that to be heard.
Yeah, that was you getting a fight with, like, an argument with someone, and at the end of it, you just go, you know what you did? You know what you did. That hits harder than when you're like, bleep you, bleep this, bleep everything, blah, blah, blah. Like, just, throwing out curse words. You know what you did? I ain't gonna forget. No, you know what? You know what you did. And you walk away.
Does he have a point? Because, dude, OKC does seem to get some calls, and let's not pretend that SGA doesn't have a little bit of a reputation that he's developed over these last few years.
Chet Holmgren was doing it yesterday too.
I was just saying that the long-term narrative has been SGA, but you make a pretty damn good point. Chet was on one too.
Yeah, but I mean, now we're starting to see other players try to do it again. And this is gonna be one of those things where the NBA will have to talk about this in the offseason with their officiating crews and figure out a different way to officiate that play that SGA is kind of exploiting right now. Because to be fair, like, I guess by the letter of the law, it's often a foul. I see what you posted there. Yeah, Book was correct. He's right. I'm not going to say about the integrity part, but he is right about it being a blown call. It should have been an attack. I mean, Booker was going after a loose ball. He threw it back on the court, and they gave him a technical foul. It didn't really make much sense.
It's pretty impressive. By the way, tonight, Knicks Hawks tied 1-1. How about this? Are you Knicks fans going to behave tonight?
What is behave?
Not chant at your players. Man, that was a rough outing for the Knicks fans last game. I get it was a tough loss, but man,
I wasn't listening. Don't worry, I didn't hear it.
How you feeling about your Knicks tonight?
Knicks will win tonight. Knicks will win. They'll cover. Take them to win. Take them to cover. I think Jalen Brunson should have a good night tonight. I think that one of the narratives I didn't like that a lot of Knicks like broadcasters, like, I don't mean that actually we're covering, like, actually I shouldn't say Knicks. A lot of New York broadcasters were pushing this CJ McCollum villain narrative. And then you also heard, even on the broadcast, the sideline reporter had asked him about the villain thing, and then someone asked him about the villain thing in the post-game press conference as well. Like, stop trying to turn CJ McCollum into Trae Young. He's not. CJ McCollum played a great game and also almost hit a crazy shot just a couple of weeks ago in the regular season. Well, hit the shot, but it was a hair of a second behind, but as the clock went off. CJ McCollum's a real good dude. I like his answer. Now I got a wife and kids, and I'm just trying to be the best man that I can be. Like, I'm not a villain. The Knicks need to figure out how to not suck in the fourth quarter. Let's put it that way.
And also, I mean, a series that I wish wasn't in series one, Nuggets Timberwolves. How you feeling about this one? Tied 1-1 going so far. You think this one can go the distance?
I do. Yeah, I think this is one of the series that 6 or 7 games in this one, because, I mean, there could be a bounce of a ball here or there, and I could see it going either way. Like, I think they're, from a betting standpoint, I'd probably bet Minnesota now, right? Like, you go back home and, you're feeling good. I think Minnesota's got all the momentum in the world in this one. They're, knock on wood, whatever's around me, like, they're pretty darn healthy right now, except for Anthony Edwards. But I don't really believe this questionable thing. I think this is gamesmanship. I think he'll play. I think we'll be fine. I do not like Tavio775 putting that in there. You stop that, Tavio. No,
I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. Hey, what do you say we move it over to the quick hitters and get away from all the sports of it all for a second? Because speaking of that, hey, New York Mets, look at them. They go ahead and finally break it at 12. Congratulations, my guys in Queens. Oh man, what a dream come true. I saw that Juan Soto gave a really good interview where he said he hasn't talked to anyone during this. Is this a nightmare over there? A tick in certain respects? Because, like, this should really be handled better by this team.
So, Cody, when you were playing pro ball, did you guys have group chats, text group chats, or
yes?
No? I mean, it was it was 10 years ago, but you did, right?
No, we did. 10 years ago, yeah, group chatting was very much a very viable option.
And were there certain teammates that chimed in less than others?
Yes.
But did all teammates chime in at some point?
For the most part, yes.
Oh. So for the most part. So, all right, good. Let's dissect this. Were there, I don't want you to say a name. Were there ever teammates when you were on a group chat, like a thread where it's, 18 of you guys on there, that literally never responded, never liked anything, never said anything on the chat?
Well, here's what I would like to, whichever the point you're going to make that I'm going to bolster it for you. Not everyone was on these group chats. These group chats wouldn't be 26 guys. These group chats would be like a group chat of 4 guys here, a group chat of 5 guys here, like kind of scattered throughout. I will freely admit there was only one team I was ever on where there was a full team group chat where everybody contributed. Only one, and that was the World Baseball Classic team in 2017.
Cool. All right, so that does actually help my case a little bit. Here's the thing about Juan Soto. I think that, like, if you follow his career, it's pretty clear that he doesn't necessarily care to be a leader of men. He just wants to do his own thing. I think he wants to win games. He wants to get good stats and win games and all that kind of stuff and make a lot of money. But I don't know if he ever wanted to be captain or the leader of things. I did find it a little bit odd. I feel like if I were him, I would have even lied. Like, oh, you know, talking to teammates. Yeah, while I've been injured, I've been staying in touch with everybody, just making sure like everyone's still good during this and we'll turn it around. Like, boom, story's over. But by saying that you don't talk to anybody, it just continues to push the narrative that there's something wrong in this clubhouse. Now, the other part of this, Cody, is does it matter that he's a superstar or not? And I don't know the answer.
Like it's a case by case scenario, but can I give you my example of why I kind of get why Met fans are perturbed and fans are kind of looking at it like, guys, get it together. Because I'm looking at this going like you, dude, at least lie about it then. Like, come on, man, get it together. Could somebody have some savvy in this team? This guy's getting paid $700+ million, and I feel like nobody's got savvy. And that's the key figure here. This guy's getting paid more money than Shohei Ohtani. Yet Shohei Ohtani out here in Los Angeles is a superhero. He's a team leader, and he doesn't even completely have mastery of the English language. Like there's stories endlessly of him doing things for his teammates and doing things with his teammates and doing things around this. Like, it's just like Ohtani's got this incredible reputation. Now, very well, this could also be multiple marketing firms absolutely helping the cause, but because who are we kidding? That is a real thing. But Juan Soto, it's almost like the exact opposite. And I think that perturbs Mets fans going like, God, we're paying him more than Shohei Ohtani. Look at all that Ohtani's bringing to the table. And Juan Soto's not even talking to his teammates.
Yeah, and it's a clubhouse that seemingly needs leadership. Like the fact that, Alonso's gone and Nimmo's gone and McNeil is gone, these guys that were in the clubhouse for a really long time and were mainstays with the New York Mets. And then, Lindor didn't end up getting the cap, they didn't want to name a captain and all of this kind of stuff. It leads you to believe that there's some sort of leadership issue there. And then when you lose 12 games in a row, you feel like there's even more issues, not just with leadership, but with the actual players that are there and how they are, showcasing their skills on the field. Listen, this may end up being a blip on the radar. And
I
maybe
hope it is.
Yeah, maybe Juan Soto's going to come back, and he was back yesterday, and he went 1 for 3 and had a walk, and Lindor will suddenly start hitting above 200, and the rest of the team will start hitting, and Nolan McLean is going to be Cy Young level quality, and all these guys will turn it around, and you and I will be talking like late August. Man, can you believe the Mets are just 1 game out in the NL East? Like, maybe we'll be doing that, and I kind of hope so, especially as a guy who works for SNY, and it's a lot more fun when the Mets are good.
Completely agree.
Positive things than negative things.
No,
but
that's the other thing. Listen, I love the fun. Listen, it's a funny thing to make fun of when the Mets, quote unquote, met. But I did play for the organization, and I actually liked that organization quite a bit. I'm very fond of the Mets organization for multiple reasons. One, I like Citi Field immensely more than I like Yankee Stadium.
Most people do.
Yeah, I enjoyed playing for the Mets, and I enjoyed the players that eventually got up with the Mets that I got to watch, like guys like I didn't play with Alonso. He was a level under me when I was there, but I played against Pete Alonso a bunch when he would finally when he got the AAA. Luis, Guillorme, when he was there, I played with him for several months, and I absolutely loved the kid. Like I root for the Mets very, very outwardly sometimes. It's just, man, oh man, I start to think that it truly is a real snake bit organization, because you can't blame the front office for not trying. They're spending the money and things just don't click. I'm just hoping that this tweet right here is what poked the bear enough.
Oh, goodness. That is
because that tweet right there is just, you're getting obliterated. Huh?
Yeah, that's hurtful. That's hurtful.
Yeah. I want you to take that personally, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't buy a single just dozen eggs. You got to buy way more than a dozen eggs anyway. So
That is true. That is
how you
that-
getting 12 eggs for your protein?
I had 4 this morning with a burger patty. I got my protein.
Good for you. Good for
Thank
you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Listen, the Royals are announcing that they're have a lot of renderings of a new stadium. I got some questions for you on what this stadium actually is. One, have you been to the Kansas City Stadium in the last few years?
No, I haven't. To the K, to Kauffman?
Yeah,
No, I haven't,
to
unfortunately.
Kauffman? Yeah, dude, it's a beautiful stadium. So I'm like actually a little confused on why this is super necessary, but they've been after it for a while. But apparently they're like saying this is one of like the most most Kansas City driven type of stadiums like ever made. And I'm going to read off a couple of things that it's about it. Let me pull it up right here. Keith, apparently they have like personalized messages on every single seat.
Is that real? Did you do any research on that?
These are all just reports. Like as of right now, these are all reports of what they plan to do in the proposed stadium.
Okay.
So they want to have personalized message. Every seat could have a digital display where fans can send messages like "Happy birthday," "Glad you're here." It turns the entire stadium into like a Hallmark card is what their goal is.
Already thinking of knuckleheads that are going to put like curse words and dirty things in there.
Yeah, no shit. It's a disaster waiting to happen.
All right. I don't like that. All right. What else we got?
All right, we're all, okay. So we're 0 for 1. Let's get to 2. They want to build something called the Crown Walk. Fans will walk through a fountain-like plaza with words like joy and together projected into the space. It's designed to feel like you're stepping through a live interactive message before the game even starts.
That I like. I like that a lot. I think that'll be the kind of thing that, I can just envision families, and it's difficult for families to go to games now because they're so expensive, but I can envision that being like an annual or like, let's say, once every couple of years as your children grow, you take that picture in front of that, like walking through the video, and you can kind of see it. Like if you were a diehard Royals fan, I could envision going to a park with like your kids and 3-year-old and 1-year-old walk through, and then suddenly they're 9 and 7, and then next thing you know they're going off to college, and you're taking pictures. That could be kind of cool.
Yeah, I get it. And also it looks like it's going to be like in center field, and it looks like they have the really cool concept of this like kind of it almost looks like a cross between San Diego and what they have beyond center field. They have that big park, which is always filled with so many like what the Padres have done. They've made that stadium like the most accessible stadium in baseball, and it is just brilliant.
Agreed. I agree. Was there another level to this or no?
Yes, here we go. The restroom renaissance, they're calling it. Even the bathrooms get an upgrade with funny, personalized messages and interactive mirrors. Yes, they're turning restroom breaks into the part of the experience.
Wait, mirrors? Wait, what?
I think the mirrors are going to have like TVs in them, one having the game, but also having like probably ads. It's going to be like an interactive mirror, not like something you would probably have at a gas station.
At a gas station. All right. I don't mind that. That's fine. I tend to be a little bit afraid, a little bit leery of extra things going on in bathrooms. Mm-hmm. Again, when people are drinking alcohol. But whatever.
By the way, this is a full collaboration with Hallmark cards, by the way. They also want to be able to make it that you could give at like urinals, like you could send messages from that as well, which also seems like a bad idea, but there's also going to be a message vault. Fans can leave messages to be opened in the future, like a time capsule for future games or even future generations. It turns the stadium into a living archive of memories, not just a place to watch baseball.
I mean, I kind of like that.
It's really sentimental shit.
I thought I was going to dislike a lot I like it. I don't mind.
You like the Field of Dreams thing they're turning this into?
Yeah. I think I wouldn't do the messages at the seats. I think that you are asking for people to make mistakes and put some things in there they probably shouldn't. I don't know if there was a way to, like if you go to click the button and it has a curse word or something dirty in it, like maybe it wouldn't send. Maybe there'd be like a block.
Because like Instagram actually does that. So if Instagram can do it, I have to assume the urinal at the new K can do it.
I think so.
Yeah, that'll be great. That'll be great. All right. Dude, I didn't even know this, and I'm glad you're bringing it to my attention because you put this in there. Jose Soriano.
Oh my goodness.
Dude, talk to me.
So he is a 0.24 ERA on the season, and only twice has he even given up more than 2 hits in a game. So he's the first player, like except for openers, so that take them off the table, that has gone through Major League Baseball history to give up just 1 run in total through the first 6 starts of a season. Okay. It's also the lowest ERA through the first 6 starts of a season since it became an official stat in 1913 in both leagues. And I don't know. And the thing is, he had a 3-something ERA last year. He's always been like kind of a good pitcher, not elite level. So I probably this won't stick, and hard to believe that something like this could really stay.
I mean, it's insane.
But I mean, what Shohei is doing on the mound, and he was good yesterday, the day before, whatever it was. Like Jose Soriano looks like the best pitcher in baseball. Like we're forgetting that Skubal and Skeens exist because of Jose Soriano.
I mean, and listen, his career. I'm looking at his career record right now, and nothing to scoff at, but nothing all that overly impressive either. 3.89 ERA career is damn good actually in today's day and age, it seems. But also 17.21. He's been a good pro pitcher.
Good solid pitcher. But this is like if he were to continue this, he's the greatest pitcher of all time. Kind of stuff.
This is insane.
Yeah.
By the way, have you heard about Dave Grohl, who is, I believe, now in his late 50s, is currently getting ready to get back out there and start doing stuff with the Foo Fighters. And he made a revelation come out recently where he said he has a new routine that he's been doing now for 15 years that has been keeping 8 years that he's been doing to keep his vocal cords done right and keeping them fresh, because he still sounds pretty much the same he did from like day one when he started the Foo Fighters. Here's the thing, Keith. This is what he had to say. He went to a doctor, and this is what his doctor told him. Maybe 8 years ago, I had to get my vocal cords checked out, and I'd never done that before. And the doctor sticks the camera down my throat, and he looks at my vocal cords and goes, "Wow, they look great." And I said, "You're kidding." He said, "No. You look amazing. Do you vocal warm-ups?" I said, "No, I don't." And he goes, "Okay. Do you like vocal cool downs after a show?" I said, "No." And he said, "Well, what do you do before again?" And he said, honestly, an hour before the show, I open up a beer and I start drinking the beer. I might take an Advil because my knees hurt, my ankles hurt, whatever. I'm old. Then I'll have a shot of whiskey. And then once the beer is done, I'll open another beer. Then we'll maybe have a group shot of whiskey, which the band will, and then we'll do a band prayer. And then someone say 15 minutes and I open one more beer and I have one more shot. Then I hit the stage. Doctor said, "Don't change the thing."
Beer has carbonation. How is he not burping through the set?
I don't know. I guess he's really slow drinking these beers. The doctor said, "Just don't change what you're doing. It's working." And I was like, okay, great.
Wow. Impressive.
So
it's like when you hear about someone who lives to like 95 and they've been like smoking cigarettes their entire life. And you're like, I don't get it. We were told that's bad for us and you're still alive. So,
Well, you know what could have been bad for someone? Logan Gilbert, because he nearly died, but didn't, because Jersey to the rescue.
He's threatening right away. Right back, and it is caught. No. It's in his short. Logan Gilbert wore that one. That was something that you will not see again. It went in absolute missile right back at Logan. He's trying to defend himself, and you can see it go on the shirt right there. And it was on the back side of his left hip, and he couldn't find it.
I have
So I don't
only
think
seen that a couple times.
I don't think that hurt. You
Nope.
heard the broadcaster? Actually, if you watch it, the way the ball, it like kind of goes through right here. And I don't think that hit his person at all. I think it just got stuck in the jersey. By the way, he doesn't get the out for that. It ends
He does
up,
not. It is not a catch
Yeah.
because technically your jersey would be equipment, but he's not. You cannot use outside equipment to catch a ball, so you can't use your hat to catch a ball.
Yep.
But because it's not incidental, it's not a real problem. What it happens is it's immediately called a timeout. Dead ball. Runner is awarded first base, and runners advanced accordingly.
Yeah.
That means if there's a runner on first base, advances to second. But if there's a runner on third, the runner stays right there at third unless he is forcibly advanced. That is the call.
That was scary though. That was scary.
That could have been pretty bad, man.
Yeah.
Hey, what do you think about? Are you a fan of the actor Henry Cavill?
Superman?
He was Superman. Yes.
Okay. Sure.
Okay. He is one of the people that is currently up to be the next James Bond. He was up for James Bond the last go around. They determined he was too young. Now he's probably age appropriate, but a lot of people calling for Idris Elba, I being one of them as well. But I think Henry Cavill would make a fantastic James Bond, but he's lately been giving some people advice. And he says this, guys, if you just like a girl, go up and ask her out. Seems to always work for me. Do you think that has anything to do with the fact that he's Henry Cavill?
No, I agree with him wholeheartedly. I feel exactly the same way. That's how I live my life, or would have lived my life when I was younger.
How great are you that you are just this amazing?
Just need to have you know, listen. When push comes to shove, just have confidence.
Yeah.
What's the worst that happens?
Yeah, they say no, or they throw their drink at you.
Well, it's like Dion Cole did a funny bit where he says, if I see a girl, a group of women at the bar, I walk over and I say to them, I'm gonna go get a drink. You guys decide which one likes me. And then he goes and gets the drinks and he comes back with the drink. I obviously didn't say it as funny as he does, but then he comes back and he's like, who liked me? That's what it was good.
That's a good joke. I love that. All right. So this is actually interesting. There's been reports, whether they're substantiated or not, of scientists going missing. And they're apparently allegedly scientists that are whistleblowers for the aliens that are already here or the knowledge that they have. So my question for you is this, Keith Irirzarry. Do you think aliens are out there? And if they are, what kind of aliens? Are they the friendly aliens that we've seen all like in E.T.? Or are they the world taking over aliens that we've seen in War of the Worlds? Perhaps we've seen them in we lost Keith Irirzarry. It's okay. He'll sign right back in momentarily, and I'll finish the question. But then again, what do you guys think? Do aliens exist? And if so, what kind of aliens are they? Here he is. Keith, you ready to hear the question again? Hold on. Gotta go ahead. Talk? I don't hear your voice at all. Talk to me. Well, this sucks. Your voice isn't coming through, but it will momentarily. I guarantee it. Well, Keith Irirzarry, I'm going to actually re-ask the question, and hopefully by the time the question is done, your voice will be able to come through very, very clearly. Do you believe in aliens? And if they do believe in aliens, which kind of aliens do you think they are? Do you think they're the War of the World, Independence Day type of aliens? Or do you think they're more of the friendly E.T. type of aliens that befriend young children? Keith, I don't have you right now for some reason. I'm going to need Keith to sign back in, sadly, and hopefully we got Keith back. We'll get back to that, and then we'll get to the final end of the show. Listen, it's been a lot of fun here today. We also got Shiggles, and then we will reflect, and then I get to go hit up a golf course because I got to hit a ball about 350 yards today. Waiting for Keith to come back so we get I think we got him. Keith, talk to me. I hear you. I hope the guests can hear you as well. So, which kind of aliens do you think it would be? Yes, there have been reports of scientists going missing because apparently they were whistleblowers on aliens. And Mm-hmm. I think it's
They would look something like us. I don't know if exactly, but something like us. But then again, that might also be presumptuous of myself to believe that human beings are the species that everyone looks like. Maybe we're the aliens and the other worlds are like their beings. How about that?
I love it. I love it. Look at you. Look at you, Keith Irirzarry.
I'm a sociology minor.
God, you're good at that. Please. Everyone said they can hear you now, which is fantastic. All right. Let's get over. You know, you got yourself a shiggle, so let's go ahead and do some shiggles. Mr. Irirzarry.
Yes.
What are you shiggling about today?
All right. I actually had a few that I was going to submit to you, but I ended up just going with the one. So I got a little video for you, and let me set it up. So Caleb Wilson is about to be, a lottery pick, probably, top 2, 3, 4, 5 pick in the NBA draft. For people who, feel like they missed out, they did. Wilson got hurt during the UNC season, was unable to play in the last 10 games of the season, didn't play in the NCAA tournament. Caleb Wilson is an absolute freak of an athlete. Let's show some video, and then I'm going to show you why Cody Decker is going to feel sad.
Why am I going to feel sad?
Because that was Caleb Wilson playing one-on-one with all the members of the UNC baseball team. So just showing that he's a better athlete than the baseball players. So basically baseball players are, just not as good of athletes as basketball players. And they got schooled. And that's like, I could just envision that would have been you at UCLA with I don't know, Dan Gadzarich dunking on you or something like that. Or Jason Capono just schooling you. Or
What
Earl
decade
Watson,
did I
Matt
go to that
Barnes.
school?
Russell Westbrook just coming down.
Thank you. Now you finally found somebody. Yes.
Kevin Love, dunking.
Yes. Okay. You're finally getting the generation right. What do you? I was waiting for you to be like, yeah, maybe Kareem dunked on you.
Bill Walton. Yeah. Go ahead. That's my
one. First things first. No shit that one of the top few picks of this upcoming draft absolutely schooled baseball players on the basketball court. I hope he would do that. Otherwise, he shouldn't be drafted that high. That being said, he did not show at any point that he was a better athlete. No. He definitely showed that he had better ball handling skills than the baseball players. He definitely showed he was a better basketball player, but I haven't seen him on the field swinging his bat against the Friday night guy, my guy.
I'm sorry, I can't hear what you're saying. I have no idea. No, I hear you. I'm just kidding. I'm just messing with you.
This is like that Shaq argument all over again. My God.
All right. You were good on the Shaq argument, though.
Thank you. I felt pretty good about it. Listen, you actually brought this to my attention, and I'm going to submit it real quick because, ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't matter that we are not officially in May yet. It doesn't matter that we're barely into this Major League Baseball season. The catch of the year has already happened, and it wasn't even on the field.
Back around. It never came out.
It's the wrong video. For some reason, that video came up again. Talk amongst yourselves while I grab this video that is way, way, way better.
Could you imagine if I would sit here and I look at the camera and get all deer-eyed? I'm like, uh-oh, now what do I do? Cody wasn't ready. I'm scared.
I was ready. That's not fair.
I'm not trained for this.
It re-uploaded the same video.
He's threatening right away.
No! Hey, wrong video again. This is not fair. I'm uploading the correct video, and I'm blaming you. And yeah, I know. Oh, God! Oh, God!
I understand what you're saying.
No.
There it is.
The entire system is just going haywire on me, man.
Okay, So what happened was, you know what? Look at the shirt. It says that. I don't know,
Yeah.
Cody. Maybe we'll get rid of the NT and we'll say you do quit.
You are a monster. That is a monstrous thing to
Oh.
say to your friend who's
Oh.
only trying his best.
Oh.
God, the lack of support I get from my friends.
You know what?
sometimes, people.
Your best reminds me of those UNC baseball players against Caleb Wilson.
Here's the catch of the year.
Narrow with play. This will go foul. So grab away. And Tatis was dancing off at first. That guy's all right. He got a baseball. He's like, I'm good. I'm good. I think.
What a catch.
Heck of a catch. Yep.
That's a catch.
Uh,
You know what I didn't
he
see
was
doing
at
that? I didn't see Caleb Wilson making that catch. Did you?
He wasn't at the baseball game, but I'm sure he would have made it. You want to have a stare off here?
Maybe-
Is that what we're doing here?
You know something? You know
Yes.
something?
I want to know everything.
Jeets wants to know when leg day is.
It was actually today. Thanks, Jeets.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh, really?
yeah.
You wanted to? What'd you do? What would you throw in there? Did you throw in some front squats? Did you throw in some hex bar deadlifts? Throw in some front deadlifts?
Actually, we were doing back squats.
Back
some
squats?
deadlifts as well, and mixed between
You some
all of them.
Bulgarian split squats?
I did not know some calf raises
You
as well.
some calf raises? Yeah, you gotta have the calves look
Love
good.
the calf raise, and I did some jumping squats too. I like to continue with my
Ooh.
athleticism, so that I can, still do those things on the basketball court. Thanks, Jeets.
You, sir, are amazing.
Thanks,
And
Jeets.
on that, and on that note, we should reflect.
All right.
Reflections. Mr. Irirzarry, what are you reflecting
I
on
would like to
today?
reflect on a baseball thing for you, and I did this for you. So a lot of people out there maybe don't even realize that Fernando Tatis Jr., his father, was a Major League Baseball player and has one of the most insane, significant individual performances we might have ever seen. So on this day in 1999, Fernando Tatis Sr. became the only player in Major League Baseball history to have 2 grand slams in a single inning. It came in a third inning in a game, 11 runs in that inning. And it got me thinking, what would that be akin to? Like that kind of stats. So I was thinking, what would get for the game? Would
Whew.
have 27 times in the- have a goal, have that happen 21 times in the NHL. Like a hole in one in golf and things like that. And that was where the line got a little blurred for me because I couldn't find a stat of anyone having 2 hole in ones in a single round. So that might be the only thing that would kind of rate with what Tatis did. So congratulations, Fernando Tatis. You also have a nice baseball player as a son.
It is the anniversary. I'm glad you bring that up. You know what my favorite part about that Fernando Tatis home run, 2 grand slams in 1 inning thing is that it wasn't that it was 2 grand slams in 1 inning and that it happened at Dodger Stadium. It's that they both came off the exact same pitcher, Chan-Ho Park.
Yep.
How Chan-Ho Park was allowed to be in that game through that entire experience to give up 2 grand slams to the same guy 9 batters later is mind-blowing. But just a little fun fact, this would be the Tatis effect. Before that game started, Chan-Ho Park's ERA was 4.86. He left the game with a 7.32 ERA.
That's not good. No, it's not good.
That
at
was
all.
Fernando Tatis Sr. that did that to him. My reflection is simply this. I honestly think there is a team right now in Major League Baseball that might be better than the Dodgers. And it's not necessarily better than the Dodgers that I'm like, they can actually, I think they can go toe to toe with them in the playoffs and throughout the season. But there is one team that I think is matching them where no other team can match the Dodgers. And this is what the Dodgers have really had going for them above all the other things, their vibes. The Dodgers are just a really good vibe team on top of being monsters. They just come in with their cool California ways and beat the living hell out of your team and then just head back home being a cool, calm, collect California way team. You know who else is that? Right down the road. San Diego Padres is one hell of a vibe, and they are one hell of a team. And you know what? Now with the Dodgers closer, Edwin Diaz, going out, who did have the quote-unquote best entrance in Major League Baseball, ladies and gentlemen, look, you want to see one of the best entrances. Mason Miller coming to the mound is terrifying with that corn jam playing and lights going in and out. I got to say, man, not only is this Padres team monstrously good, they just signed Lucas Giolito yesterday, getting a little bit more pitching depth. Watch out, LA. Watch out, Major League Baseball. The Padres might be surprising some teams and some people and some fans this October, because right now, I think the three best teams in the National League, I think they're all in the National League West.
Yeah, and it's funny because you almost feel like we might get robbed because one of those teams is going to end up losing like in the 1st round. Another one's going to lose in the National League, championship series probably. And then you won't get to see those teams play for a World Series. Yeah, I kind of agree with you. The vibes test is an interesting one because we can do like the callback thing for comedy. If we go back to 35 minutes ago, talking about the Mets and the lack of vibes there, all the vibes in LA and in San Diego.
Yeah. So, man, it's going to be a fun year in the NL West. I got to say, my eyes are all over it. And, being in Los Angeles again, I get to witness it firsthand. So I'm pretty fired up for all of it. Keith Irirzarry, the single greatest man literally in this entire industry, if not world itself. Keith, can you tell everyone the 90,000 places you are currently working they can watch your beautiful face? Because you are, again, quite jacked.
Thank you very much. ESPN Radio coming up this weekend. MLB Network's next week, Monday, I think Monday. No, SNY is Monday. I don't know. I have it all written down in my spreadsheet. Don't worry. I know where I'll be. But anyway, it's like MLB Network, NHL Network, ESPN, VSiN, SNY, teaching a class at Hofstra, traveling with my sons, both of my sons playing high-level sports, which is awesome. Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah. And all your work is just tremendous. I absolutely love you. You're the best. Can't wait for next Thursday for another Keith Irirzarry Thursday. And of course, guys,
you guys can follow me too, but feel free to go follow my kids on social media also. Both of them are out there putting their sports stuff out there. Austin,
hey, dude, Austin's vids are no joke. You should definitely check out what Austin Irirzarry is doing.
He has a YouTube channel now.
Really? So follow Austin Irirzarry over there on YouTube as well. Dude, some ankle-breaking videos being put out there on the socials. It's made one of our shows. It's gold, man. So, guys, follow the show at Beadle and Decker. We'll be back here tomorrow. And, of course, back on Monday with Michelle Beadle. And, of course, Wednesday with Michelle Beadle. But Keith Irirzarry back at it next Thursday, guys. Like, share, and subscribe right here on YouTube and on Twitch. And, of course, check us out on Instagram. Be weary and be aware that we are going to be putting out some more social media videos today and tomorrow. Guys, thank you so much for watching. And, as always, most importantly, R.I.P. Estelle Getty.
And go Knicks! Go New York Knicks!
Oh, stop it.